fluorescent lights in the boardroom hummed like a swarm of angry bees, casting a sterile glow over the polished mahogany table. I sat there, tie suddenly too tight around my neck, staring at my father-in-law, my boss, the CO, with a knot twisting in my gut. "We're cutting your salary in half," he said, his voice flat as a blade, eyes cold behind his rimless glasses. "Take it or leave the company." The word slammed into me like a sucker punch, leaving me breathless, the air thick with the scent of his expensive cologne mixed with the faint bitterness of stale coffee from the untouched mug between us. My mind reeled. 5 years I'd poured my soul into this firm, climbing from junior analyst to department head, all while navigating the minefield of being married to the boss's daughter. Emily, my Emily, with her laugh that could light up a room and her habit of leaving half-read books scattered like breadcrumbs through our life. Confusion flooded me first, hot and disorienting. What? Why? I stammered, my chair creaking as I leaned forward. He didn't blink. Performance issues. You've been distracted. His paws hung heavy, laced with something unspoken, like a shadow creeping across the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city skyline, where twilight bled into the horizon. I left the office in a daze, the elevator's descent mirroring the plummet in my chest. Heartbreak gnawed at the edges of my thoughts. Had I really slacked off? No, I'd hit every target, stayed late while Emily complained about my absences. But doubt crept in, insidious and familiar, whispering that maybe I deserved this. By the time I pulled into our driveway, the suburban street quiet under sodium lamps, anger had ignited a slow burn in my veins. The house smelled of garlic and rosemary as I stepped inside. Emily was in the kitchen, humming softly, her auburn hair tied back, apron dusted with flour. She turned, smile fading at the sight of my face. "Rough day?" she asked, voice light but eyes darting away. We ate in near silence, the clink of forks against plates echoing like accusations. I watched her, this woman I'd loved since college, her fingers twisting the stem of her wine glass. Something felt off, had for weeks. The late night she blamed on her own job at the nonprofit, the phone she kept face down, the way her hugs lingered a fraction too long, as if compensating. Denial wrapped around me like a blanket. She wouldn't. Not Emily, who still whispered, "forever," in the dark. But guilt flickered in her gaze when I finally broached it. "Your dad cut my salary today. Said I'm distracted." Her fork paused midair, color draining from her cheeks. "What? That's ridiculous. I'll talk to him." That night, as rain pattered against the bedroom window, I lay awake, her steady breathing a cruel counterpoint to my racing thoughts. Fear clawed at me. What if this was payback? Her family had always seen me as the outsider, the scholarship kid who married up, but moral conflict churned deeper. Had I neglected her, pushed her away with my ambition? I rationalized it all, the odd texts, the perfume I didn't recognize on her coat, as paranoia, until the next morning, when she left early for a meeting, forgetting her phone on the counter. The screen lit up with a notification, and my hand trembled as I picked it up. Just a glance, I told myself, heart pounding like a drum in my ears. A message from Mark Work. "Last night was incredible. Can't wait for round 2. Delete this." The words blurred through a haze of tears, betrayal slicing through me like shattered glass. Mark, her colleague at the nonprofit, the one she'd mentioned casually, with his easy charm and shared passion for causes. Anger surged, raw and blinding, but beneath it, love twisted like a knife. How could she? I scrolled back, fragments emerging, late-night rendezvous masked as fundraisers, emojis that screamed intimacy, her replies laced with guilt she tried to bury under excuses. I confronted her that evening. The living room dim under the glow of a single lamp, shadows dancing on the walls like ghosts. "Who's Mark?" I asked, voice cracking, holding out the phone like evidence in a trial. She froze in the doorway, bag slipping from her shoulder with a soft thud. Confusion flashed across her face, then denial. "What are you talking about?" "He's just a co-worker." But her voice wavered, eyes glistening. The dialogue unfolded in halting bursts, natural yet laced with tension. "You've been distant," she admitted finally, sinking onto the couch, hands wringing. "Dad's been pressuring me about the family business." Mark, he listened. Secrets spilled slowly. It started with coffee, evolved into confessions, then stolen moments in hotel rooms that smelled of cheap soap and regret. Her motivations peeled back layers. Loneliness in our marriage, the weight of her father's expectations to keep the family intact, even if it meant hiding her unhappiness. She wasn't a villain. She was flawed, torn between loyalty and the thrill of feeling seen. And me? I wasn't blameless. My workaholic drive betrayal of its own, eroding the trust we'd built. Guilt mirrored in us both as we argued, voices rising and falling into whispers. "I love you," she sobbed, reaching for my hand, but I pulled away, shattered trust fragmenting like ice underfoot. The suspense built through the weekend. Quiet unease in shared spaces, the creak of floorboards as I paced, the muffled sobs from the guest room where she slept. Hints I'd ignored resurfaced. Her father's knowing glances at family dinners, the way he promoted Mark's ideas in intercompany memos. Then the twist hit like a thunderclap. Monday morning, I stormed into the CEO's office, rain streaking the windows, demanding answers. "This salary cut, it's because of Emily and Mark, isn't it? You knew." He leaned back, steepling his fingers, a sigh escaping like steam from a cracked pipe. "Son, it's not what you think." His voice softened, revealing a vulnerability I'd never seen in the iron-willed tycoon. "Emily came to me weeks ago, confessed everything, begged me not to fire you outright. The cut, it was her idea, to push you out gently, so she could end things without destroying you completely." The revelation stunned me. Her betrayal laced with twisted mercy, his complicity born of paternal love warped by control. But the real shock, "Mark's my nephew," he added quietly. "Family." She thought it would stay hidden forever. Heartbreak crested into a wave of confusion and rage, the room spinning with the scent of leather and betrayal. I walked out, jobless but unbowed, the city lights blurring through tears. In the end, the shattered trust wasn't just romantic. It was familial, a web of deceptions where love and loyalty collided in moral gray. As I drove away, phone buzzed with her frantic calls, I wondered if forgiveness was possible or some breaks were meant to scar forever. The rain pounded harder, washing away illusions, leaving only the raw ache of what was lost.